Madeline, is it true that your boyfriend is a doctor? I was hearing that from a few of the other workers today.
Ruby, you heard about that from them?
I knew it was true then. What is with this, gosh dang it? I love to gossip about other people's love lives. So, next time when you go out telling people, make sure to include me. I'm sure you weren't trying to hide any of this from me, right?
Well, no, but this isn't something that everyone in the whole company needs to hear about.
Huh? Why not, though? You have a boyfriend who's a doctor now, making your future very safe. You should be going around the office bragging about something like that, right?
Well, I'm sure that my boyfriend's a very amazing man and all that, but I don't think he's the kind of guy that I need to be bragging about here.
Huh? What the heck? You telling me that you're trying to be some modest woman now? If I were you, I'd be bragging every which way around here. So, where did the two of you end up meeting?
You could call him a friend of one of my friends from college. They were nice enough to introduce me to him and such.
What? I should have known you had someone to show you to him. But man, I don't have anyone around me that could show me to some kind of doctor who wants to date. Everyone in my group is below me.
Well, I'm sure that not many people are friends with doctors on such close levels. If you keep thinking that everyone's below you, you'll miss the right man for you, right?
Huh? What the heck? Are you trying to act like my mom right now, telling me crap like that? Well, good for you. You have yourself a doctor for a boyfriend now. You feel like you're above me now, so of course you'd try to give me some insight.
I'm not trying to act above you or anything. I'm just trying to recommend that you treat those in your group with a bit more respect. And if you do that, instead of saying they're below you, you might have a better chance at finding someone to date. I think you're the only one that's acting above everyone else now.
What? There's no way. I know that the truth is you have to have amazing people around you to introduce you to even more amazing people. Right? And since I need myself someone amazing to show me around, can you introduce me to your boyfriend?
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I mean exactly what I said. Introduce me to your boyfriend. Then he will be able to show me to one of his single doctor friends.
Oh, that's what you mean.
What? Did you get all worried there for a second? Were you getting scared that I might come and steal your boyfriend from you? Stop that, please. I would never do something like that to anyone.
That doesn't seem very authentic of you, though.
Does this mean... You're talking about Allie? Well, about that, it just happens that her boyfriend fell in love with me. I didn't do anything to take him from her.
Is that so? I'm sorry, but I don't really trust you on that one yet. Well, it's over now, so I shouldn't ask you any more about it.
Anyway, show me to your boyfriend, please. I only have so much time left before I need to get married, okay?
Hold on, though. Whatever happened with you and Allie's ex? Weren't you dating him?
I'm over him now. He wasn't making that much money compared to a lot of other people. And I just never saw him getting anywhere else in life. So, I want to find someone better to jump onto.
What? That right there is terrible, Ruby. After taking her boyfriend from her, you just went and dumped him after a few months? And saying that you want to jump onto someone else now? Don't you think that what you've done has caused a lot of harm for others already?
Why are you asking me all of these things? Wait, was she some kind of friend to you? Well, I'll just tell you now that I didn't mean anything bad by doing that. This is a world where love is the most powerful emotion, right? If she wanted to keep him around with her, then maybe she should have tried harder to show her love for him, right?
I'm not saying anything like that. I just think that what you've done to someone like her was not okay. And that I feel bad now that you didn't even hold on to her ex afterwards.
You're kind of crazy, Madeline. You're a bit scary as well. If you keep talking like that about other people's situations, you're going to die young. I can see already that you're stressing over things like that. And those wrinkles on your face aren't receding anytime soon. So be careful.
Whatever. Either way, I am not showing my boyfriend to you. Just try your best to go out and find a high-level man that you think would be interested in you.
Huh? Well, if you say so. All right. I'll do everything in my power to find my high-level man. Now that I think about it, are you okay, Madeline? There hasn't been anything else upsetting you, right? I think by this point you can say something to the police about him.
Please do. Allie, you've been worried about me? Thank you. But look, I'm feeling a lot better now. He's started to slow down a bit recently, so I think I can begin to relax again.
Is that so? Thank goodness. But make sure not to be negligent of what he can do. You've already started to get ready to move into your man's house now, right?
Yeah, I've already gotten everything packed up. I actually plan to move to his place tomorrow.
That fast, huh? Perfect. If you have anything you need my help with, just ask. I have a lot of time on my hands, so I can be there anytime. Like tomorrow, I can be over there right after work to help out.
Thank you. I'm sure if I have anything for you, I'll ask. When I do, you'd better be here.
Sure thing.
Also, now that we're talking a bit here, there's something else I should mention. Ruby was at the bus stop that I get off at normally a few days ago.
Why the hell is she going to your bus stop now? Please don't tell me that she's really trying to get to your boyfriend that badly.
Well, I think that's what she's been up to.
But why does she know about your boyfriend? I thought everyone was keeping that a secret from her.
Well, apparently a week ago she was listening in on a conversation that a couple of other workers were having, and she was able to hear something about him.
Wait, what? What the hell is wrong with her? Does she not have anything else she could be doing besides stealing people's boyfriends? She needs to learn to go out and find a man of her own instead of taking ours.
She really does. And what do you think she said to me back then? She told me that love is the strongest emotion in the world, but she never seems to have it herself.
The hell does she think she's talking about? She's probably never loved someone in her life, that thieving whore.
Exactly. But at least after what she'd done to you, you found yourself a better man and are happy, right?
That's right. I'm very happy now with my new boyfriend. And that's why I don't give a crap about Ruby or my screwed-up ex. But hearing that she's still trying to steal other people's boyfriends just makes me feel all angry inside again.
Well, I can understand that. But to be honest, your ex is also very lucky, because after being stolen from you by her, she ended up leaving him as well.
What the heck? Oh, thank goodness for that. I'm sure that in my ex's case, he wasn't really into her anyway either. And was more or less just bored with me and wanted to try something different. That's how a lot of men are, and why they are stolen by that freak so easily. I should really thank Ruby, actually, for taking that guy out of my life.
Right? Any man that's able to slip up and be taken away that easily is far too dangerous to keep around. And that's probably why Ruby has gotten so far invested in her game, is because there are a lot of men willing to jump ship for her out of boredom. But what's crazy is that she seems to do it out of jealousy more than actual love.
Oh, she's just that type of idiot girl. She keeps that game up, she'll never truly be happy with whatever man she's with. All the men she ends up taking are cruddy themselves.
Listen to me dissing Ruby and my ex like this.
But you're right about what you're saying. That ex of yours, just like a lot of other men, really did seem like the type to mess around with other women.
Jeez.
She asked me to introduce her to my boyfriend. But do you actually think I'd do something like that with the history she has?
Who would ever introduce their boyfriend to her? That's just her way of getting ready to steal him from you, right? But I know that your boyfriend isn't the type to leave you for her.
I doubt he would. He's seen a lot of women like her that are all into men's money, but he hates all of them.
In this day and age, there are all kinds of women like Ruby, actually, that are only into men for their money.
Right? They might all look cute, but everyone knows their goals.
I guess Ruby really is the type to keep on stealing other men because those who actually have money will never settle for her. And if they did, I wonder what would happen.
Well, anyway, if something between her and I happens again, I'll let you know.
Madeline, were you planning on getting married to your boyfriend? In other words, you and him are engaged?
What are you talking about right now? Ah, you're right. He and I are engaged to one another, but we only just got engaged recently, so...
Is that so? Well, then I'm seriously sorry about what's happened. I might have accidentally stolen another man again.
Huh? What are you really talking about here?
I've just gotten engaged to the man you've been together with. I really am a pain in all you guys' butts now, aren't I? I've once again gone and stolen another man from you older women at work. I'm so sorry.
Huh? What are you actually going on about right now, Ruby? I really don't think you've stolen my man from me.
I understand the feeling of not wanting to grasp the scary reality that's in front of you. But him and I are going to have a gorgeous wedding that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm jumping for joy right now thinking about it.
This isn't about me grasping reality or not.
But this is the truth, so you're going to have to get real about it. And so I'll tell you once more. I'm sorry, but I've stolen your doctor fiancé from you. But I am thankful that an old woman like you would be willing to give him to me without fighting at all.
Are you certain that that's really my boyfriend that you've taken? And actually, where did you first run into him?
I met him right in front of your house. Don't you remember running into me at the bus stop near your house when we both looked the other way from one another?
Well, you seemed pretty upset to see me back then, Ruby.
Well, after running into you like that, I thought I'd take a trip over to your house. And so I followed you home.
That right there is you telling me you're a stalker, then. Why didn't you just talk to me more if you had something to say?
Well, I just didn't want to deal with you at the time. But after following you to your house, I was able to write down where it was before going home myself. I had other plans, so I couldn't do anything on that day.
This is a really odd story. So you stalked me to find my house and then wrote down the address to come back another time? That sounds like the making of a criminal.
Call me something like that. But hey, because I was able to come and find your house, I was able to meet your boyfriend later on. And I heard you and him got into a fight. How awful. You kicked him out of the house and everything.
Huh? I don't ever remember a thing like that with my boyfriend, though.
Well, he was just standing there in front of your house, pacing back and forth. And so I went up to him and asked what had been happening. That's when he told me you got into a fight with him and kicked him out of the house. And right then and there, I picked him up and took him home with me.
I see what's going on now.
All I had to do was be a little kind to him, and he immediately came running after me. So now, I'll be taking him as my boyfriend. Thank you so much for giving me your fiancé and doctor.
And thank you very much as well. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that man was a complete bother to me.
Stop trying to be all tough about this. I'm sure that you're shocked by all of this and are finding it hard to catch a breath. Sorry. A young and beautiful woman like me can never lose to an old hag like you.
No, I'm seriously thankful for what you've done. That man has been stalking me for months now.
Huh? What do you mean?
That guy's been following me everywhere for the past few months now. I had been trying to tell the police about him, but I've had little evidence. And so I moved out of my old house and am living in my fiancé's home. Actually, it was the day of me moving into his house that he proposed to me.
Wait a second. What do you mean? I haven't ever been over to his house yet, but...
That guy you're with probably doesn't even have a job right now. And if he does, he's probably working minimum wage and stalks all kinds of women daily. I think me being a bit too nice to him before is what got him so interested in me. He was the cashier at a gas station I stopped at, and maybe he's a sucker for nice women.
You're lying, right? But he's a doctor.
Did he say that? Well, that's a blatant lie. Probably just said that to get you to fall in love with him. Telling you he works an amazing job that was all too easy for him, right? Just like you'd done when you took Allie's boyfriend from her. Well, good luck, because he's been a really persistent stalker with me.
This is all lies. You're just trying to get me all worked up now because you're a sore loser, right? Him and I have already handed in our marriage paperwork to the city office and everything now. And I was planning on becoming a housewife and already told the company I quit.
Wait, what? Sucks for you. Well, I'm sure you'll know very soon if I'm telling the truth or not.
Wait. If you're actually telling the truth, then I'm actually screwed, right? I've already started talking about having a wedding with him.
Well, it's your fault for thinking you can just steal other people's boyfriends like that. But you both like to stalk other people, so I think you'll be a great couple. Maybe try your best to save up whatever money the two of you can for that expensive wedding. I hope that a whore like you gets whatever happiness is left for you after what you've done to people. After that, Madeline was able to distance herself a bit from Ruby and had an amazing wedding with her husband, and was then able to leave her job and become a housewife. There she was able to begin the dream she had always been chasing after. Never had to really look back at the past that Ruby had been trying so hard to keep her in. I'd say that this time, Madeline really did dodge the worst bullet anyone could be hit by, and she did so without even getting a scratch in the end. But as for Ruby, she was not willing to marry the stalker anymore, as she began to learn very quickly that he was going to be more than just a burden on her shoulders. Before the wedding could even begin, he was saying creepy things to Ruby, that even for a girl like her who had very little brain cells began to really turn her off, and so she ended up canceling the wedding with him. However, she wasn't going to get away without paying the cancellation fee, and so went into extreme debt with all of the loans she had to take out. And it wasn't just the cost of canceling the wedding that she had to pay either, as the stalker also asked that she pay him back for breaking their engagement promise with one another. And if she didn't, he'd make sure she never got to see the end of things between them. So it's going to be a long time before Ruby can pay off all the loans she's taken out, and I'm sure that'll keep her anchored in the hell she asked for. And as for there being anything to force both Ruby and Madeline to be around each other, there is nothing, as the both of them have left their jobs at the office, so neither one of them will ever have a chance to talk to one another anymore. Therefore, not many people really know about what's happened to Ruby after going into such terrible debt and running off. It's funny to think that she got off so much to making other women feel horrible by stealing their boyfriends, but is now feeling the worst after getting what she'd asked for. I'm at least sure that now men are no longer on the mind of Ruby, as she tries to find a way out of the hell she's fallen into. And that's okay, because no man, or woman, would ever want to have someone like Ruby chasing after them, because we all know now that she's bringing nothing but bad news with her.
Petra, you're back at Mom and Dad's house again? Next week I'm planning on having Pat come over so that I can introduce him to everyone there. So, Petra, you are really getting in my way by being at their house right now. Hurry up and get out of that house for good.
And I am trying. I would really like to be out of this house as soon as possible right now, and I'm planning on being gone soon. But of course, there are still some things I'm not quite over just yet.
Not over what?
This isn't just about the fact that you went and stole my fiancé from me like that, but the fact that you went and made it sound like I was the one trying to steal him from you all this time. Now I'm totally pissed off about that and can't just let things go anymore.
Well, listen here, Petra. I have every right to blame the person in the wrong for doing something wrong, right? You tried to steal Pat from me, you freak!
Lacey, your English is getting worse day by day.
And your head is getting worse day by day, you idiot! You really do have to get over all this. It was Pat that started to like me more than you, so there's nothing you can do to fight that, okay? Also, Pat's already told me he's never going to marry you now, since you tried to steal him away from my arms.
So this isn't all just you saying that I'm the one who was trying to steal Pat from you? He himself is lying about what happened to paint me is the problem. This is just like that time you threw yourself down the stairs and then started blaming me for pushing you, even though I was in the kitchen on the first floor of our house.
But you did push me! And I'll have you know that I sprained my ankle really badly because of that.
And that's on you for being a complete imbecile and falling down the stairs. You were just lucky that Mom and Dad weren't home to see it, making them believe you when you showed them the sprain and blamed me. There were already some red flags being raised after both Mom and Dad believed what you were saying over me, when you had no evidence, but are you kidding me? Now you've gotten Pat playing along with your lies and are blaming me once again for something I have never done?
Well, I also told him about what you did to me then as well, and he told me he never thought of you as such a bully. And that's why he ended up falling in love with me. And now that he loves me so much that he wants to marry me, he's never going to doubt that moment again, and will always play along with my lies. See, now that you've even heard it from me, you get it, right? You don't have any friends in this family anymore, so hurry up and get out of Mom and Dad's house for me. Make sure to never come back around us again.
Alright then, I guess this is it for me then. I'm changing my plans. I'm going to leave this house today.
Thank God.
After seeing how you've acted, even now while we've texted, I finally understand it all. Everyone in this house will only believe what you tell them, no matter how frickin' insane and baseless it is. Which must mean that both Mom and Dad are completely nuts.
Huh? What the heck did you just say? Are you stupid?
I don't really care anymore about what I say. I'm already on my way out of this house now, so I feel that I can say whatever I want about you guys, because I'll never see any one of you again, right? I'm going to start packing all my things up now, so leave me alone.
Hey, you still aren't out of the house yet?
I've just finished up talking with a realtor about signing a lease for an apartment and planning out how I'm going to move all my things there.
Well, who cares about that? All of the things you have are worthless to the rest of us, so they can just all go in the trash. Just throw it all in the back of your car or something and get lost. Anything you can't fit, we'll gladly throw away for you.
You're right, actually. I'm only gathering the most valuable things to me, and the rest I'll be getting rid of. But it's not like I have much left anyway, because there was always someone going into my room and always stealing my things from me without ever asking.
Huh? I never stole any of those things, though. I was just taking them from you. It's your fault for always buying such nice clothing and bags and jewelry that would look way better on a beauty like me. I only said someone was stealing all of my things, Lacey. I never said that it was you that was doing all of it. What? I see. So you really have been the one stealing all my things then. What the hell? You're being a total witch. Just get out of this house already. And I'm on my way out of here right now. Is that right? Well, thank frickin' God for that. Now the final piece of annoying garbage is out of my sight. Ah, that's right. I've been blocked by Pat already, so I have something I'd like for you to relay to him. What is it? Tell him that if I don't get my $3,000 back from him that I lent him by the middle of this month, I'm going to have a problem. Huh? $3,000? He already knows where to send the money to, so all you have to do is tell him that and he'll be able to handle the rest. If he doesn't know what to do, then tell him to unblock me so that he and I can talk about this like adults. And I can explain to him again what needs to happen. What are you going on about? You're telling me that the Pat I'm engaged to, the one who happens to work for a very large company and makes lots of money there, had to borrow money from some loser like you? No freaking way that's a thing. There happens to be an IOU that we both signed proving this is true, though. No way, no way, no way! If you don't want to believe me, then that's totally fine. I just want you to go ahead and tell him all of this for me. If you'd like to hear the reason for why he had to borrow money from me in the first place, then go and ask him about it. There is just no way any of that is true. Can you please quit trying to make me laugh at this stupid joke of yours? I'm not going back to that house anymore, just so you know. So this is goodbye forever then. Petra, I have some super happy news for you. I was just proposed to by Pat. And of course we all know what my answer was, right? It was a yes. We were on an evening walk out at the city center park, and there he got down on one knee, whipped out a beautiful ring, and asked for me to be his wife. It was the most romantic setting for me, and I just couldn't help but come to you with this amazing news. Is that so? Congratulations. And when it comes to our wedding, Pat has told me that at the very least, it's going to cost $50,000. Really? I never expected that you both would be putting $50,000 toward a wedding. I'm sure you are oh so jealous of me right now. I'm wondering how you're going to come across that kind of money. Huh? Listen here, miss. Just because someone like Pat had to borrow a measly $3,000 from you before doesn't mean you get to start acting like he doesn't have the money for this wedding. Would you please stop it with that now? After I went to him about all that, he said he paid you right back in 2 days. Ah, you're talking about that. I'm very thankful that you were able to go to him and relay what I wanted you to say, without screwing it all up or forgetting about it. Thank you. He told me that during that phase, he was just asking you for a little money to help him cover some simple costs. And that's the only reason he asked for that small amount from you. So don't get such a big head over that instance. That's not what I was planning for you to think when I thought about your guys' financial situation. So, was the only reason for you coming back to me after months of no communication whatsoever just for you to brag to me about how you were able to say yes to his proposal? Huh? I'm just thinking that none of this has to do with you wanting to invite me to that wedding or anything you just spoke of. Of course I'm going to invite you to it. I wasn't just going to start the conversation with me telling you the date and location of the wedding. I had to lead into that by telling you what good news I had and about how the wedding will be.
You don't have to tell me about all of that stuff, all right? I don't plan on coming anyway.
We'll see about that.
So is that all you wanted from me then?
Huh?
I really want to get back to work now.
Wait, today is a holiday, you idiot. You think I'm going to believe that you still have to work? You must really be in need of money right now if you're having to work during a holiday.
I happened to change my career, and that ended up with me having to change my schedule around, where I only have to work on the weekends and sometimes on holidays and during the week.
What? You changed your job?
And because of me changing my career and job, I am now making a whole lot more money than I was before.
What? Really?
So?
Huh?
I don't think you have anything else to say to me then, so I'll be getting back to work now.
Petra? Petra, please!
What the heck do you want from me? I'm in the middle of some very important work, okay?
I need some money from you as a celebration for my wedding.
Huh? Is your wedding coming up really soon then?
It'll be next week on Sunday. So please, give me some money to celebrate my marriage. I'm sure you can give me $50,000, right?
Excuse me? Are you being serious right now? You want me to give you $50,000 as a present?
You're my older sister, right? I think with you as my older sister, you should be more than happy to fork that kind of money over to me as a present for my special day.
Come on now, Lacey. Just tell me what's really going on with you now. I know that you can't pay for your wedding now, and you want my money to pay for it. You guys don't have any money, right? You've only ever worked as a part-timer for a couple of stores and only ever brought in a couple $100 per month, right? So there was never enough income for you to save any of it. That's why, for a little while, you've had mom and dad giving you an allowance in order to have a little bit more money, right? And since you got those two to jump on your bandwagon and hand you money like that all the time, they now don't have any money for themselves to support them as they both try and retire happily. When it comes to Pat, he's working for a very large company, but only as a temporary employee, right?
You knew about that?
Well, you have to understand that I was really planning to marry that man at one point. And now the reason for why you are freaking out so much right now is because you happened to find out that the man you want to marry is making less than a full-time employee there. And that's really shocked you to your core. Do you know why I had to lend him $3,000 before? That's because while in between jobs, he didn't have the money to pay rent and for food. So I said he could borrow from me as long as he paid me back. And when he paid all that back to me in one payment, he must have borrowed money from somewhere else to make that work, right?
That was, he may have said something about that before to me.
So when it comes to you having to pay for that wedding, you must have thought he was going to be the one paying for all of it, right? And as for Pat, he thought that since you were always getting money from mom and dad, that it would be the same case here and that they'd pay for your wedding. Am I right about all this?
But I had thought that Pat was full-time, long-term employee for that company, so I assumed he could afford everything. And by the way, why the hell do you know about all of this, Petra? I never knew a thing about any of this before, yet you knew all along?
He and I have talked about all of this before when we were dating. And we both have friends that I'm able to hear things from. Also, when it came to him proposing to me and the two of us becoming engaged, he promised to me that he would get a full-time, long-term job by the time we got married. But that was all before you came in and stole him from me.
If you knew about all of this, then why didn't you tell me? I only stole him from you because I thought he'd be making all this money and I'd never have to work a day in my life again. This is a scam. You scammed me. He's not at all what you advertised to me. He's not even rich enough to pay for a simple wedding to celebrate our marriage.
You thought I had any reason to tell you any of that?
Huh?
The fact that you both didn't talk about all of this before talking about marriage is on you two. Had you actually sat down with him and talked finances and work, he might have told you more about who he really is and what state his bank accounts are in. Also, you were the one that chose to steal him from me, so I just assumed you knew about the kind of trash he is. So why tell you something when you should have already known?
But...
Also, just after that, you started to blame me for being the one to try and steal him from you before you ran out of the house to him. So I had no way to tell you who he was even.
But listen!
And just know that I am not going to give you $50,000 as a present, all right?
What?
I'm sorry, but I'm not that rich where I could just whip that kind of money out and give it to someone who isn't deserving of it.
Well, I'm asking you to please do something. This has already caused a lot of problems, and so the wedding is being canceled. But the wedding planner has told me I have between now and next weekend to pay them back the cancellation fee. And I don't have the money to do that. Please just give me whatever money you have right now, Petra. Your cute little sister is in a really tough place right now. You're my older sister.
After that, Lacey, Pat, and both of my parents started to call my phone over and over and over. And not just calls, but a bunch of text messages and things like that as well started to come. Lacey would tell me every time that she had no money and then would say horrible things to me. Pat would tell me that he has no money and then ask for the both of us to get back together again. Both my parents would tell me they have no money and that they wanted me to come back home to live with them. I get that I was able to find a better paying job and all, but I do not make the kind of money where I can pay for all these freaks. Anyway, all those calls and texts from me was driving me up the wall. So I went and changed my phone number. When talking to a person I know who lives in the house next to them, they told me that the whole story about how Lacey had really stolen Pat from me slipped out. And then all of their friends and family began to stop talking to them. And I guess that meant I was the only person left for them to rely on. When it came to that wedding's cancellation fee, it turns out that they were able to settle it by paying it off in half-year increments. But even with that, my parents had to end up selling their house. And then they all moved out of their house to a smaller apartment, where they would fight one another all the time and cause all kinds of noise complaints. It'll only be a matter of time before they get kicked out of the apartment and are forced to live on the street.